Alright, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Fuck the dollar. Fuck it. Come on, come on. I pressed jump! I pressed jump!
Hello everybody. Today I'm going to react to yet another video. And this time I'm going to be reacting to Tesla crashed minutes after delivery. TESLACAM Stories 302 by Wham Bam TESLACAM. And I've been watching TESLACAM recently. And starting in 3, 2, 1.
This submitter was driving his brand new Model Y in Sarasota, Florida, when a pickup driver suddenly turned across his lane. Our submitter tried to swerve to avoid a head-on collision, but without enough time to react, the impact sent his Tesla straight into an SUV, making this a 3-vehicle collision. The Tesla's side airbag protected our submitter's head from smashing into the window before he crawled out of the passenger door, which he opened using the emergency mechanical release. The police responded quickly, and they were impressed that our submitter was able to walk away from the wreck without needing medical attention. Sadly, the vehicles involved didn't fare nearly as well. All 3 had to be towed away, but not far, as the collision had happened right in front of a collision center. Our submitter filed an insurance claim, but because his Model Y was brand new, there weren't any comparable used vehicles on the market yet. Without any comps, the insurance company couldn't calculate the car's market value, so they just went ahead and declared the car totaled and cut our submitter a check for the value of a new one.
That sucks.
Tim, or Dutch Tim as he asked us to call him, was driving down a highway when a sudden downpour began. But maybe we should call him the Flying Dutchman since he was flying down the highway. As he entered a tunnel, he was forced to reduce his speed for some standing water, but he told us he thinks he should have kept his speed up because his braking caused him to hydroplane and lose control. His Tesla was going 81 miles per hour as it slid into a barrier. Tim's Tesla was 11 days old when this happened, and this collision sent it to the Tesla Collision Center for the next 3 months. He and his pregnant wife were both transported to a hospital to get checked out. Thankfully, all 3 of the vehicle's occupants were safe and sound. And Tim told us the Tesla is back on the road after his insurance provider paid over $32,000 to repair it. Christine and her brother were on their way to experience the new Tesla diner, but they had no idea they'd be having a Wham Bam experience instead. As they were exiting a highway, a gray Toyota minivan merged into the passing lane without warning before brake-checking a black Cadillac. The driver of a white Tesla behind the black Cadillac slowed down, but a Prius behind the Tesla didn't. When Christine and her brother heard the loud crunch of the Prius rear-ending the Tesla, they immediately stopped to see if they could help. After making sure nobody was injured, they provided their TESLACAM footage to the California Highway Patrol, as well as to the Tesla driver, who was very thankful for the additional camera angle of the collision. They continued to the Tesla diner, arriving around 4 a.m. to enjoy some delicious breakfast tacos, or beef chili, or chicken and waffles. Actually, they didn't tell us what they enjoyed. Regardless, they did the right thing by stopping to help after witnessing a collision. Carlos was being driven home by his Tesla's full self-driving after working a night shift when he suddenly felt the car brake unexpectedly in the middle of an intersection. Carlos told us his Tesla hit the brakes long before he had a chance to notice the speeding red light runner, and he's incredibly thankful that it did. The 2 vehicles did make contact, but FSD's braking turned what would have been a deadly collision into a minor one. Carlos, who's 19 and uses his Tesla to get to work, was infuriated that the Tesla he'd worked hard to afford had been wrecked. When he ran to the other car and saw all its airbags had deployed, he calmed down and made sure everyone inside was okay before calling 911. That's when the other driver asked Carlos, "Come on, dog, are you really calling the cops on me?" Carlos wasn't dissuaded from calling 911, which is the right thing to do in a situation like this, but we have several stories of the police refusing to respond coming up, so keep watching. Chris was on his way to the park with his family when they noticed traffic ahead was slowing down. Thankfully, Full Self Driving noticed what was happening and had the situation well in hand. The driver ahead of them was distracted and didn't notice the slowdown before smashing into the back of another vehicle, pushing it into a Kia. Chris took over and swerved onto the shoulder to avoid getting rear-ended himself, a great way to avoid a collision. Police had already responded to another collision farther down the road, so Chris stopped and let them know about the one that just happened, offering them a copy of his TESLACAM footage. Tim was using full self-driving when his Model Y changed lanes to avoid an upcoming exit and to go around a slow driver ahead of him. The driver ahead of him suddenly decided to change lanes while he was passing her. Tim noticed what was happening and started swerving away, but FSD stopped him from sideswiping a large truck on the other side by pulling him back into his own lane. The merging driver never even looked as she changed lanes before colliding with the right side of Tim's Tesla. Thankfully, she did pull over and had insurance. Tim considers himself fortunate that his car is still drivable. If his Model Y hadn't stopped him from hitting the truck, things could have been much worse.
Yeah.
He's very thankful for his Tesla's active safety features. This submitter was driving down a highway in his 2-week-old Model Y when traffic ahead suddenly slowed down, forcing him to do the same.
Yeah.
Sadly, there was a Honda following right behind him. Both drivers pulled over, and our submitter was afraid to examine the damage. He figured he'd be missing a bumper cover or something, but thankfully, the situation wasn't nearly as bad as he'd imagined. The Honda driver was also upset, and he told our submitter he'd just gotten his car repaired. Our submitter informed him that his Tesla was only 2 weeks old, so he was similarly frustrated.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
This submitter had front row seats to a collision after a driver using a center turn lane to reach a left turn lane was hit by a pickup cutting through a gap left in traffic.
Oh no.
Our submitter offered his TESLACAM video to both drivers, and the pickup driver accepted a copy. The other driver didn't speak much English, so we're not sure if they understood. Our submitter never did find out who was determined to be at fault. What do you think? Was it the car driver's fault for abusing the center turn lane, or the pickup driver's fault for making an illegal turn across traffic when it wasn't clear? Honestly, it could go either way, but one thing is for sure, if the drivers ahead of our submitter hadn't left a gap for the pickup, the collision wouldn't have happened at all.
Yes, of course.
Matthew sent us this video of his Tesla getting rammed by a...
Oh no.
Yeah, by a ram. He was using full
course.
self-driving at the time, but there wasn't much it could do to avoid this collision. Both drivers stopped and exchanged information. The ram driver did not want to make a police report, but Matthew decided it was a good idea to make one anyway. They agreed to meet later this week, so we'll let you know how that meeting goes. What do you think? Should you call the cops for a simple fender bender? This question does have a correct answer, and that answer is yes. Even if nobody is injured, always call the police after even a minor collision. The official police report will protect you, help with your insurance claim, and may even be required by law. They won't always need to respond to the scene, but let them make that decision. Our next story is a great example of what we mean. Josue was on his way home to watch a Formula 1 race, but little did he know, he was about to get involved in some vehicular action before he even got home. He'd come to a stop for traffic ahead when a red Mazda CX-3 rear-ended his Tesla.
Oh no.
Both drivers called the police, but since both cars were still drivable, nobody was injured, and Josue had video evidence, they declined to respond. They exchanged insurance information and are now letting their respective insurance providers sort out the situation. It seems to us like determining fault should be easy in this case. Fixing Josue's Tesla is estimated to cost $3,200 US. Steven was leaving a parking lot when he was forced to wait for a BMW driver who blocked traffic to close his convertible's soft top. Actually, he noticed another BMW driver nearby doing the same thing. Steven is clearly very observant, unlike this Honda driver.
Oh no. Oh no. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes!
Both drivers stopped, exchanged information, and took photos of the damage. Fixing Steven's Tesla cost almost $3,000 US. He told us he lets his 16-year-old watch our videos as a form of driver's education, and that they teach people how to spot things before they happen. That's awesome. If our videos have helped you become a better driver, we'd love it if you'd subscribe. Eric was supervising full self-driving as it took his Tesla over a hill in Austin, Texas, where recent rain had left the roads wet. While his Tesla climbed the hill, an oncoming pickup lost control and headed straight toward him.
Oh no,
Eric immediately took control and safely maneuvered to avoid a collision. Now that was a close call. Eric wanted to take this opportunity to remind our viewers, please check your tire tread. This submitter was taking his child to see his first indoor play, and as he approached a fresh yellow light, he decided to proceed rather than slamming on the brakes. As it turned out, he had to slam on the brakes after all for a rogue Cybertruck. As he was turning left, he spotted the Cybertruck on a collision course as the driver ran a red light. Our submitter was able to brake in time to avoid a collision, nearly stopping in the process. At first, he thought the traffic light had malfunctioned, but when he checked his TESLACAM footage later, he confirmed that the only thing that had malfunctioned was the Cybertruck driver's brain. Travis was driving down a highway as the sun glared directly into his eyes as well as the eyes of other drivers, making it difficult to see the road ahead. One driver decided this was the perfect opportunity to cross 2 lanes of the highway without checking for traffic. Both Travis and the driver in front of him reacted quickly enough to avoid a collision, but that was too close for comfort. Travis pointed out that the other driver wasn't experiencing sun glare in his mirrors, so he has no excuse for this recklessness. Speaking of ignoring side view mirrors,
Exactly.
Charan was driving down a highway when the driver of a black Dodge Charger suddenly merged into his lane without even signaling. The Charger's side view mirror clipped the mirror of Charan's Tesla, causing his Tesla to briefly lose control before he managed to regain it. Both drivers pulled to the side of the highway, and thankfully neither was hurt. The only damage to Charan's Tesla was some scratches on his side view mirror. Right after the collision, Charan thought this might be the perfect clip for Wham Bam. After all, it had just the right amount of tension, a bit of a scare, and the best part, nobody was injured. He said it felt like he was living inside an episode of Wham Bam TESLACAM. If you're ready for the ultimate Wham Bam experience, check out this mega episode we made.
Alright, that's the end of this video. If you liked it, you can like, comment, share, subscribe. And yeah, that's being said, I'll see you next time.